Welcome back, everyone. It's FNWho's57 here. We are back on Dark Souls 3 on the Xbox One with part 18 of the walkthrough. So this is going to be Farron Keep, and I do apologize. I was supposed to be doing this co-op, but my friend Spartan hasn't been on, so I'm going to have to go ahead and do this one solo. I am embered, so I have the extra health, and I've made quite a number of upgrades on my character since you last seen me. Basically, I had 2 days and I farmed a bunch of souls and a bunch of the Deacons of the Deep. So I have changed a couple pieces of my armor to the Cathedral Knight armor. I'm still a sorcerer, but I've upgraded a few things to make my character a little bit stronger. For this area, you will need a couple items. You will want to have purple moss clumps, and you will also want to have some kind of bow that you can use. By now, I have a couple different ones that I could use, and I have arrows, but we'll use them a little bit later on. So this area is going to kind of be broken up into 2 parts. I also have the poison bite ring that I picked up in the last area, and that's extremely helpful, as well as I'm going to swap my covetous silver serpent ring for a basic ring of life just to raise my HP a little bit more. It's not a huge amount, but it's a little bit, which is going to be beneficial. So this area is a pretty big area. It has a ton of items in it, and a lot of them are good. Not all of them are needed, but what we're going to do is we're going to pick up about half the items in the area, and then we're going to do the next half from the other bonfire. So if we go over there to the right, there gets to be a very deep section of the swamp with basilisks in it, and we really don't want to go there yet. Now we have these little slug creatures, and they don't really hit that hard. Some of them can be avoided, but for the most part, a good number of them need to be killed so that you can get the items. And of course, I wasn't able to roll, but, you know. Depends on your character. If you're a sorcerer, you're going to be a little squishier. There's a mask right here. That's one of the items that's kind of like, meh. I mean, you can get it if you want to, and since we're doing 100% walkthrough, we might as well get all the items, but it's not an item that you have to get. Now, this area, the longer you spend in the swamp, you just build up poison. So you do want to be mindful of that. But there's an item right here, which is a Titanite shard that's worth getting. And basically, as soon as I'm poisoned, I'm going to use one of those purple moss clumps, just so I can keep as much of my health for as long a period of time as possible. Now, we have a few more items over here, which there's plenty of these little islands that you can come to and get enough protection, especially using that poison bite ring to not get poisoned. So there's one of the best items in the area, which is that Estus Flask shard. You're going to need that. There's nothing right there but 4 enemies, so you don't really have to worry about them. And you're going to see me use quite a bit of purple moss just to avoid this poison damage. I really don't like it, but, you know, personal preference. There's another Titanite shard right there. We'll be going up there shortly, but there's a few more items down here on the ground that we're going to want, which right there is some prism stones for you. Personal preference on whether you pick those up or not. I don't particularly like them, but they are useful. Plus, you need one that you can trade to the crow, so there's a good way to get one for free. The stone Parma shield is right there. It's just a waste of time with those slugs. But there's going to be a pretty tough enemy over here, and that's why I want to keep some of my health, or as much of my health as possible. Got some rotten pine resin, and I'm going to show you a trick when fighting this Dark Knight that helps out quite a bit. You can go ahead and get him to come to you, and sometimes you get hit by that, which is really annoying if you're a caster. But basically, pull him through the slugs, and if you pull him through the slugs, It doesn't work all the time, but a good amount of the time he'll actually go and attack the slugs. Which makes it nice because 1, he kills them for you, and 2, they can do some damage to him. And then another shot from the spell, and he's out of here. So, pretty easy to deal with him. You can farm the cracked red eye orbs off of him. You can also farm him for the Dark Knight set. You can get the sword and armor and everything all off of him. Those slugs, basically pointless in killing. I'm going to pop another purple moss there. Come in here and we'll pick up the Sage's Coal. So it's something for infusing that you're going to need. Now, if we go this way, we're going to end up in a bit of an area that we don't want to go to. So I don't recommend that you go that way just yet. I actually recommend that you double back. And we're going to go up, deal with a few melee creatures, and then it just makes life a little easier. And, well, hey, save a little bit of health in the process. Also, try and avoid rolling in the sludge. If you're rolling in the sludge, you're going to build up poison damage much faster. Now, do be aware, these enemies up here also will do poison damage to you. And, of course, they can backstab you. So, I am using the Grass Crest Shield and the Chloranthy Ring so that I get as much as possible for my stamina regen. Because since I'm a sorcerer build, I'm not really going for high stamina. I'm going for high mana and high health. This way I have a decent amount of health, but these guys can still kill you. So keep that in mind. Kill him. Now we're going to get the first fire that we need for this area, which is right here. Just extinguish this flame. Which, how that little tiny flame down there extinguishes this entire tower, don't ask. I have absolutely no idea, but it's kind of cool. You get a nice little cutscene at each one of these, and I'm going to keep the cutscene for the first one. I will skip it for the next 2. Basically, it's the same thing. You're putting out a total of 3 fires, which in turn light 3 braziers, and that allows you to open the door to the next area. So, there we go. We have 1 of 3. And now we will collect more items. There's no point in me using a poison moss right now, but there's an enemy right here. He's a basic enemy, but he still can be a little annoying. I can basically 4-hit them, so not too worried about those guys. And there's a couple different ways that you can go, but you want to pick up this item that's right here because it's more rotten pine resin. So if you're not a sorcerer or a miracle user, then, you know, this will be helpful for you. And basically we come down right here, which is where we would have come out from the left, but we didn't have to trudge through all of this toxic sludge and build up more poison. So what I want to do as a sorcerer, get close to him, and that guy can be pretty annoying if he jumps on you, but 2 casts from Great Heavy Soul Arrow, with my level at least, is enough to just completely wreck him. So we're going to deviate from the course just slightly, come over here and pick up this Titanite Shard, and we're going to deal with this guy. Now, we're definitely going to get poisoned in this area because this is starting to get to be the deep end of the swamp. So, not only does poison damage build faster in this area, your movement speed is drastically cut. So, I'm going to go ahead and pop that purple moss and pretty much keep the purple moss out because we're probably going to use 2 or 3 pieces of it before we get out of this area. We're going to come up here, pick up this greatsword. So if you're a greatsword user, you'll love that. There's a bunch more of those little enemies. They kind of look like dogs, I guess, would be the best description for them. But there's a bunch in this area, along with basilisks and quite a few other nasty little things in here. So there we go. Like I said, got poisoned again. Now you can roll through this to move through it faster, but the poison builds up on you faster, so keep that in mind. You can move through it faster, but you're going to get the poison faster, so it's kind of a trade-off. Come up there, there's some more purple moss for you. Now, here is your first encounter with that really nasty tree-looking thing, and there's more of them in there. There's another item over there, but that's going to be part of what we clear later in the second part with the basilisks, and I don't really want to deal with them right now. But if you do want to deal with them, the best way to fight them as a caster is with range or with a bow. You can fight them with melee, personal preference on that. Come back over here. That guy gave me a Titanite shard, which isn't half bad. And we'll get out of this poison area and pick up a few more items. Now, we will actually fight 3 of those tree guys. And we'll pick up that Titanite shard right there. This area has a lot of good stuff in it, especially for sorcerers. Now, you can see those 3 trees right there. Those guys we have to fight if you want the item that they're protecting and you want the black bow of Ferris and the black hat of Ferris. I have both of those items because I killed them already, but I'll show you the easiest way I've found to kill them. So what I do is I come up here and kind of just take this guy out. Again, he'll build up poison damage on you, so watch it. But they give you a lot of poison moss or purple moss clumps in the area. So it's not really too bad, and you can buy them relatively cheap. So it works out all in all once everything's said and done. Go ahead, come up here, extinguish that flame. Keep an eye on how many Estus I have. There's no items back this way, which is depressing because normally you would think that there would be, but sadly there aren't. So before we go and progress through there, this is one of the spots that you can shoot those trees from, but the best location is actually on the other side of this bridge. So as a sorcerer, range is my friend. Should be able to almost one-shot those guys, and instead of using more magic, because right now I'm saving my magic for the trees, I'm basically just getting them to come towards me, and then one hit from a katana, and they're out of here. Unless you hit the sword. If you hit, or you hit his shield, then you have a bit more of an issue. So you can pull them back across the bridge, but the guy that doesn't have a shield, well, he spits poison at you, and that can make life really annoying. Go ahead and backstab this guy. They're not too hard to backstab either, which is nice. And you can get poisoned, but it's not too hard to avoid his poison. Or just simply take the poison damage and come through, and couple hits, he's down. Black bug pellet, awesome. Now, this is going to be a bonfire right here, so we'll go ahead and light the bonfire. Now, normally I would stop right there at the bonfire and go with the rest of the area for the next part. But I want to actually go ahead and show you. I'm going to get rid of those trees, and I'll show you the way that I do it, at least. And I use a longbow. Now, you can use magic as well, but I use a longbow with regular arrows and fire arrows. And basically what you can do is you can pull these guys one at a time, and they won't hit you with their heaviest attack, but you can still get hit by one of their attacks. So you'll see these little red skulls pop up. They're very easy to avoid. They don't do high damage when you're up here. You basically roll once, and you can avoid them completely. Again, I use fire arrows because poison arrows don't work against these guys. They can't be poisoned. Regular arrows do work, but fire just seems to do the best as far as damage against them goes. And kind of shoot them in the chest, get headshots on them, things like that. Fire arrows are pretty cheap. Actually, all arrows are pretty cheap when you think about it. So, to save health, you might as well just use your arrows. If you get a clear shot, they're also pretty weak to magic, but because they want to come here underneath the bridge, it can be kind of hard to hit them with spells. It can also be kind of hard to hit them with multiple arrows, because they like to run. But yeah, see, just avoiding those skulls is super easy, and it makes dealing with them a piece of cake. Go ahead and... Now, if you get hit by all those skulls, then it's a bit of an issue. But a couple of the skulls don't really hurt. So, take him out. Now, if that's the first time you kill him, he'd give you the black bow of Ferris. The second time you kill him, you'd get the black hat of Ferris. But after that, you don't get anything. So, we're just going to go ahead and kill this guy. We want to kill all 3 of them and then go pick up the item that they're guarding. And if you have an arrow pulled back like that and you roll, you don't lose it, which is nice. So shoot this demon tree thing right in the face. Actually going to get a couple arrows off on him, which is a bit of a surprise, but you know what? I'll take it. And then we'll roll away from the skulls. Right in the mouth. How do you like that, Mr. Tree? Now, if I can get a cast on him, you'll see regular soul arrow hits for 164 damage. So, pretty good when it comes to that. He actually dropped me an item down there. And there's a reason why I have another spell on, because we're going to go down there in just a second. But we have one more tree monster to kill. And he's going to take his good old time getting over to me. And then, of course, go right under the bridge so I can't get to him. That's alright. Just avoid his skulls. Basically, it's a rinse and repeat situation. There's no real perfect spot to hit him from. But, you know what? It works. So. Come on. Come on, buddy. Get out from underneath the bridge. Now, I could go down there and fight him. I'm not going to. That's just a waste of time and health. Just give him a minute, and he'll eventually move. See, he's starting to move around now. And give him a couple seconds. You should be able to get a shot on him. Ah, almost. Come on, buddy. Step out. There we go. Oh, got hit by one of the skulls. Whenever I go through this area, I like to save as much of my health as possible. So if you wanted, you could jump down there, fight a melee, maybe use magic, you know, whatever you wanted in that circumstance, depending upon your build. For me, I might as well just use arrows. It's easier and safer. You can roll through the skulls too. So after that, I can unequip the bow, and I really won't need it anymore. Now I know you guys are saying he's still there. Yep, he's still there. But we're going to not be able to drop attack him, so we're going to use this spell that I put on for a reason. I put on Spook for a reason, so that we can come down here without taking any fall damage, which is awesome. Now we will take and build up poison, so do keep that in mind. And there's a couple of these little demon dogs down here. That's why I was saving my Estus, because, yeah. But pick up that ember that the tree dropped for me. And I'll keep a spell ready for him, because trees are annoying, but I should be able to one-shot him. If not, a simple roll and slash, and he's down. Then you get to come over here and you get to pick up the poison gem, which that's the main reason why I actually wanted to kill those guys, is for that particular gem. This way you can get poison on your weapon. You can actually infuse your weapon with poison, which is pretty awesome. And it makes life a lot easier if you want to be like a dex build and go for the poison damage and everything. You can. But you have to deal with those annoying trees. So you get 3 items out of dealing with those trees. Then what I like to do is come over here, and you can pick up a couple more items. You can actually come over here, pick up the Sunlight Talisman. You can drink some Estus soup, which doesn't give you any more Estus back, but it does refill your health bar. So that helps out quite a bit. Then you have, of course, all of those nasty little demon dog things and just tons and tons of stuff in this area that you can pick up. So we'll pick up a few more items, and then we're going to end at that bonfire. And just making it a little bit easier on ourselves for the next part so that we save some mana and some magic, because next part we're going to get into Basilisk territory, and those guys are extremely dangerous. So there's a Titanite shard right here, and we're going to kill the rest of these guys, kill that other tree, and then we're going to double back to the bonfire, and we'll be good. So for the tree, I'm actually going to put on my Great Heavy Soul Arrow, because I can basically two-shot these guys if I get a lock on. And I did not get a lock on him, just out of range. So I am going to get poisoned. And just barely avoided that attack. So I wasn't able to two-shot him, but I sometimes can two-shot him. There we go. Now he's down. And just avoid those skulls. Take the 2 Titanite shards, and we'll use another purple moss. There's a little island here that you can dry out on from all of that annoying poison. But we get to trudge back through the poison all over again. And there's another tree, so keep that in mind. You're going to have to kind of dodge him and those skulls, which we actually need to go up that ramp to effectively fight him. But he can pin you in the sludge, which is kind of what's going on right here. I'm trying to get around him and around that stupid tree attack that he has. He slams you with that tree branch, and man, does it hurt. So what I want to do is hurry up and get my spells out, hit him a couple times. And every time he slams down that tree branch, he basically does the little attack that spawns the skulls. So keep that in mind. Now we're going back into the area that's hard to fight him in. So this is his territory. And he really, really can hurt. All I need to do is get one cast off, and he's down. Refill my magic, cure the poison, and use another Estus. Like I said, trees are very, very annoying, and it's why I don't like dealing with them. Just cure that poison so I don't have to deal with it. But we'll go ahead and we'll get this third fire out of the way. Basically, we're getting all the items, or almost all of the items, in getting ready for the next boss fight, you could say. Go ahead and pick up that, because there's 2 homeward bones right there. Once you get through here, you have another one of these guys that'll jump on your face. And he's another one that's just incredibly annoying as far as damage goes. If he jumps on you, even with my health and my armor, he just freaking hurts. So, of course, I've been invaded, and I don't have any more Estus, which is really, really annoying. So what I want to do is I want to get out of this area as quick as possible. I'm going to head back to the bonfire, and I'm basically going to end the video there after I deal with this Dark Invader. Since you've pretty much seen everything there is to see on this section, I will cover the boss fight and the castle area in the next video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, make sure you leave a comment. Otherwise, go ahead, smash the like button, share the video, and remember to subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching.